Hey guys, what's going on? It is Scuf here today, and I'm coming at you guys with a brand new video. And today, what we're going to be discussing is how to improve your aim with the PS3 controller, the Scuf controller, and then the default PS3 controller. So what we have here is we have the default PS3 controller. It's just a normal PS3 controller. Has all this stuff that you get when you buy a PS3. So that is one of the controllers that we will be discussing today, and the next one is our PS3 optic Scuf controller. Now this controller has two paddles on the back and a trigger thing here, and what I'm going to be discussing is how to improve your aim with the two controllers if you're a PS3 user, if you use no default or a Scuf. First off, we will start with the default. Now right here, of course, you have no paddles on the back. It's just your normal default. You can see that these are domed. Every PlayStation 3 or PS3 console has domed thumbsticks. Now that's a little bit different with the Xbox 360. You have concave, which kind of like curve in. It's kind of like the opposite of a dome stick. Now, with that being said, with a dome stick, it's a lot harder to aim because they're really fast. Let's say they're hypersensitive. They can really they move around really fast, and that's gonna kind of mess up your aim a little bit because like me and a lot of other players, your aim might not be the greatest, and using a PS3 controller might not help. Today, that's pretty much going to change. I almost guarantee it to you. The other thing is that when you're actually using the dome stick, you don't have that, that kind of like that grip, like your thumb or whatever whatever finger that you're using to play it's kind of like forced in. With the dome, it's kind of like out there, and it's like I said before, it's really hypersensitive, so it moves around really fast, and that's could possibly screw up your aim, or even you may lose a really valuable gunfight or something in a match. So it's really hard to be using a dome stick. I'll just put that out there. But one of my bigger tricks to kind of fix that is to not really put all your force onto your stick. Don't really just go crazy. When you maybe a jump shot, or you play the call like I used to play. Whenever you jump, boom, don't really move your analog stick, all the way out. Maybe if you have to at some point, do that. But in my past, gunfights, when I'm using this controller, it's really hard to win a gunfight, when you're all over the place. That may work for you, but I'm not too sure, man. It doesn't really help me. So don't move around your stick as much as you may do. That's gonna play a bit of a factor, but if you have to, then by all means do so. That's the default PS3 controller, blue. I'll link this controller, and all other PS3 default controllers in the description below. Next up, we have the PS3 Optic Gaming Scuf controller, and I personally, this is my favorite controller I've ever gotten. Now, this controller is obviously Scuf. It has the optic colors, and it has the logo right here. Now, this too also has the default, or not, well, let's say the dome stick. It has the dome stick on both here, and they're just as more hypersensitive as the default. So, I'm going to give you a pretty simple trick and kind of a recommendation for you guys to maybe use to make that a tad bit better, because I'm not a big fan of the dome stick myself. I will pretty much in a few minutes explain to you what I've gotten in the past to change that, and what I just ordered a few days ago. So right now, what I have on is this trigger extender, and it's pretty much like a, like an Xbox trigger extender that you put on to your back button back here. So that would be your L2, I think. I'm not even too sure, man. I think that would be L2 or R2. No, this is R2. It'll look like L. This is L1. This is R2, and I personally put it on this one just because, kind of it helps me with grenades a little bit more than tacticals, because I don't really use tacticals because they're kind of useless. But very helpful. That actually kind of improves a lot, to be honest. Next up, you have the dome sticks, and what I recommend to change this is get Kontrol Freeks and get concave sticks for PS3. Now, they're really cheap. They're like $12 or something. I don't know, like they're like $4 shipping. I have no idea, dude. I forget. Now, I recommend putting it on whatever analog stick you're using to aim, because it gives you that kind of like that Xbox 360, Xbox One feel, and it kind of really does help your aim. Now, the sticks are still pretty hypersensitive, but the fact that you have the concave stick, I think it really helps with your aim, and the feel of it. It just kind of makes it really comfortable. Also, you have with the Scuf is you have the back paddles with the Scuf, and this is the Optic edition. So I have the Optic Gaming paddles on the back. Now, these come in really good help. I'm not gonna lie. When you're in a gunfight, and instead of doing this, switching, getting rid of your aim stick just to click jump, you're gonna lose your aim. But now with the Scuf, you don't have to take. You just click this, and then you still have your, you still have aim on your analog sticks. So that really comes to help. Now the setup that I have is on the R2 side. I have circle, which is knifing for me because I play on tactical, and on L2 I have the jump button. So over here, so I can jump shot. And this will be drop shot for me. So pretty much one of the bigger things that I recommend about a controller is to get a Scuf and put a Kontrol Freek on your aiming analog stick. Now with these two controllers, they're both really alike in many ways, and I'm gonna say one thing. Obviously the Scuf has a bigger advantage. By all means, Scuf has the biggest advantage over the better controller. That's gonna do it today. If you enjoyed, be sure to give it a like. Let me know what you think about, let me know your opinions, what helps you aiming better with these two types of controllers. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in a video later on. Peace.